And we were having this very interesting discussion with Radharaja, who's a doctor, about devotees' health, recommendations, what to avoid, what to do. And we'd like to share some of this information with you. Of course, he is the author of several books about health, written in German, of course, and some of them are translated into English. So here's Dr. Radharaja.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a topic that is very dear and important to me because I've been now a vegetarian for 30 years and also thought that I would be healthy automatically, and found out that I got more and more sick gradually after the age of 40. And that's why I investigated, also by your inspiration, very deeply the topic of nutrition and lifestyle changes. And the books I wrote are not based on hearsay or opinion, but they're really based on medical studies and epidemiological studies. The one book is based on 1,400 studies that are quoted, and the other on 1,000 studies. That's important to mention because when dealing with devotees, you find so many opinions and hearsay and fashion waves, and usually they don't really lead to anything. They are really like quick fixes which are very one-sided, and that is not the way how to stay healthy. The approach is a little more multidimensional and complex, sorry to say that, but it can be easily done, and it is very important because in spiritual life, our old age is the most valuable asset we actually have, because there's so much less external activity. And it's such a nice and wonderful thing actually to grow old in a healthy way and with a healthy mind. We know each other now for 16
years.
16 years. And you went through very big changes in your health and lifestyle in that time. What made you do these changes?
Well, actually, I owe it to you, Radharaja, that I was experiencing extreme pain down my arms, fainting, all sorts of different symptoms that were indicative that something was wrong. So I came to visit you, and I said, what's the problem? And you took out your handy-dandy blood pressure machine. You put it on my arm and said, you have very auspicious blood pressure. It's 180, over 108.
Yeah, that could have taken you really back to Godhead very quickly.
So, as a result, you gave me something that reduced my blood pressure. And I was feeling good for a few hours. Then, in the middle of the night, I woke up to go to the bathroom. And in a few minutes, I found myself on the floor with super low blood pressure. And I had to scrape myself up off the floor. And I was thinking, wow, this has so many side effects.
Yeah.
I can't continue doing this. So let me find some natural way to do this. So I did some research, went on the internet, as they say, Googled it. And eventually I found I should get rid of the salt, I should exercise every day, I should laugh a lot. So I started to laugh a lot and tell jokes during my classes, which were not always appreciated by all the devotees.
Yeah, I remember.
Especially our more conservative devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement.
Well, I like it really. It's like you can crack up a few times, and it's very rejuvenating actually. I mean, that's what you do in the spiritual world. We laugh a lot.
Yes. And then I eliminated sugar and some other things like that, and the blood pressure went down to normal, surprisingly enough. And as my blood pressure went down to normal, I started to see other devotees experiencing health challenges. And these health challenges, some of them were similar to mine, and some of them were things like cancer and liver disease and diabetes. In fact, I have quite a few disciples who had to have their feet cut off because they experienced extreme diabetes and peripheral neuropathy.
And strokes.
And strokes too, yeah. So I became more concerned. As my own health got better, I became concerned with the health of others. So then I had to confront something that was perhaps one of the most difficult challenges that I've had in the Hare Krishna movement, which was one of the things I was eating was going to lead me down the same path, not with high blood pressure, because I'd already taken care of that, down the same path that others were experiencing. And that was cheese. As you know, I was very much addicted to cheese.
You loved pizza.
Pizza, cheese on my ice cream, cheese on my rice,
Okay.
cheese on my breakfast
Can
cereal,
you, I
cheese
think
on
you
my
can call that
vegetables.
an addiction, yeah.
So even when I went to India, I would bring cheese from America with me so I wouldn't run out of cheese. So doing my research, I found out that too much milk products was actually, let's say, stimulating, not precisely causing, many of the difficulties people were having. And also, I was confronted with the fact that nobody in my family, or no male in my family, lived more than 60 to 62 years because of a heart condition. So at that point, I was thinking, who does this body belong to? How to keep this body running longer so I can serve Prabhupada for more years. And as a result, I did something that was very difficult. I cold turkey dropped cheese.
Yeah.
Of course, there were no withdrawal symptoms.
You went on a raw food diet for almost
2 years.
2 years, and I
2
think
years.
that was very, very good because it really helps cleansing the arteries from all the deposits. That's known for 100 years in medicine. And you did another intelligent thing. You stopped your raw food diet then also and started eating proper food again. Because there's some people who just try to stay on raw food and they get sick also. Yeah, you did really very, very effective changes because I remember your fitness went up a lot. You could exercise strongly, all chest pains disappeared. You obviously cleansed your arteries and you rejuvenated tremendously. We devotees often refer to our way of eating as, like the Vedic way of eating, which is actually not true at all if you investigate it.
That's interesting.
I talked to a lot of Indians from rural parts of India and South India, to one very known Ayurvedic doctor. And it shows that actually traditionally Indians ate something like 100 to 200 milliliters of milk. And they didn't eat any paneer, actually, concentrated milk.
Can you translate what that means, 100 to 200 milliliters?
That's
most
like,
devotees don't think like that.
Yeah, that's maybe 2-3 pieces of paneer or a cup of milk max per day, rather less. So actually milk was like a nutritional supplement for the Indians, not the basis of their food. What devotees do is like they have a milk and sugar based diet with a lot of added fat. So they often reach up to 2 liters of milk, which is like double and triple the amount of normal meat eaters take in dairy.
You mean the equivalent of 2 liters?
Because they usually take it in form of paneer and concentrated milk, and they don't really realize the tremendous amount of dairy they take. So Vedic culture took milk products, but they were of a very, very, very different quality, and they took a lot less. And the other thing is, if you look at Indians in general, the way they have been eating for the last 10, 20 years, it's extremely unhealthy. India has the highest mortality in cardiovascular death and diabetes. Also, there's so many vegetarians, the largest vegetarians on the planet. So vegetarian diet in itself is neither healthy nor unhealthy, actually. And that's something very important to understand, because I myself was also under that understanding that I eat vegetarian, that's healthy, I'm healthy. This is one of the biggest mistakes most people do, to take something for granted. So that Indian kind of vegetarianism we see nowadays is not healthy at all. That's very clearly proven. There is a group which has been investigated very strongly scientifically. That's been going on for 50 years now. Is another study going on with the Seventh-day Adventists for with 100,000 participants, and they are actually by now the longest living population on the planet, and the vegetarians amongst them.
Mhm.
So vegetarian diet can be very healthy and can be very contributive to longevity.
Mm.
However, they eat very little milk products, an equivalent of 150 milliliters.
Mm.
Their main source of protein are pulses or legumes, soy. They eat moderate amount of sugar. They eat moderate amount of fat. That ones that live especially long, they live 13 years longer than normal Californians. And these numbers are from 20 years ago. That's tremendous.
Mm.
They reached the age of 87 already 20 years ago, whilst the slope went down since then. So they lived 13 years longer by exercising regularly,
Mm.
by not smoking, by staying somewhat slim, that means no below 25 body mass index, and by eating nuts on a regular basis. That were some specific factors. And yeah, they also consider the body a temple of God, but somehow they do a lot better in taking care of it, obviously.
Now, Prabhupada mentioned in that light that we shouldn't take more, an adult shouldn't take more than 8 ounces of milk a day, which is the same amount that you mentioned in terms of 150 milliliters.
Yeah, it's a little
So-
more, but it's more or less in that range.
So we find that most devotees are taking, I guess, several hundred, or is not 1,000 milliliters
No,
of milk?
more.
Or more.
Mostly
a day.
more.